Yes, it's the 18th to these two Premier League. So yeah, we're going to be take these two rivals with points from on the line. I think that's one of its reasons which is tight. It's often eventful. Five those teams to the Sometimes Marcus not much happened. Got the straw. It's the goal, second match of the season. Richardson started on the left. Spot three. McKay one. Shady Rio was sitting on that side last time. It's Nottingham Forest. Given how long he's been out, I guess it's no surprise there that he's not actually stepped up to that gate. Welcome to International. No way exactly how Chelsea Berger is naturally safely through them. Stepping on the situations. Press on theirs. Really paid off. Something can happen to somebody like this. Still free. It's ultimately the ball for the Eagles. Hughes. Hassan. Williams. Hughes. It's a lively thing. Changes lightly. Control of the football moment. This is a derby of whatever you're taking. That's goes under the window. There are fixtures such as this. I don't think with London that's one of the first that will be too disappointed. And that is the case. Brighton not winning 11 league games. Palace winning 9. It's in the Premier League, 12 in all competitions. From wretched run of form. There we are. Genuine relegation agents. It stands 6-0 West Ham. It's just one of those that both these two relegation. Between wing back and centre half. Sometimes we can get to drive you on. Comes the high, free in this fixture. We understand it. They're wanting to take their chance. good strength to hold their views. So the spread on the referee, playing advantage. One seat to take, round it over. Pressure on Salah. Last. So down the leg short. Yeah, the last thing the Barber wants to do is in that 1v1 situation to move it over. Unfortunately, Japanese international. Has been part of most of the marathon season that Palace have had so far. Another presence in the Premier League, French centre half. Boscali. Lequara's stolen it fairly. Wharton. He was caught by Belieber. Free kick for Crystal Palace.
Lovely touches, his body so well, he walked, just aware of Belieber coming in. That little look over his shoulder entices that press. Two top young midfielders in the Premier League, Wharton and Belieber. Big futures ahead of them.
Much coveted. Wharton rested in his red card against Chelsea in the defeat at Selhurst Park a couple of weeks ago. Refreshed and restored. Pino takes out one. Adioglu's header. And by Pino again. Scally got decent distance. And now Mitoma. Excellent interception from Dean Henderson, who was very quickly off his line. Anticipated that beautifully. Kostulas now. Good centre forward play from him. He's found Rutel.
You're very aware, Dean Henderson was there, wasn't he? Of the situation. Comes out, meets that ball. Long way from his goal, but much needed for Crystal Palace.
Will Hughes retreats to Palace, finds Strand Larsen. Salah on the move. By Boscali in the nick of time.
Just see here, poor ball by Bali, but this is the sort of situation Smiler wants to get in the foot race with the likes of Biscagli or Dunk. He knows he's got them for pace. It's a last-ditch touch from Biscagli. Just wandering offside, but it is a warning sign for Crystal Palace.
Wow. Won it back here. Headed out of play. 17-year-old Harry Howe. 23 years his senior. On the bench is James Milner. He comes on in the 653rd Premier League appearance, equalling Gareth Barry.
Edging ever closer.
All competitions, he's 898th.
Even more impressive.
To come on James Milner just for the closing stages of matches. It's been the pattern in recent weeks. The cynics amongst the Seagull support saying that it's a kindly gesture by Fabian Hansel to edge him closer to the record.
Not really got into the game yet, Ferdy Kagbiloglu on that right-hand side. It's going to be a difficult balance between wing backs and full backs. Both like to attack. Who on either side is going to win that?
Taken away from Kostoulas. He's in heavily, level 2
Is that red?
illegally in the mind of Thomas Muller. He goes to his pocket, a yellow card for the Crystal Palace midfielder.
See Will Hughes go to the ground here. Kind of pulls out the challenge. Not much in that, in all honesty. Just catches the standing leg of Jorginho Ruta, but it was a slight frustration with especially Harry Howe when the ball arrived to. Might be in a really good position. And now that man there is walking a tightrope for the remainder of the game.
Situation, the set piece promise for Brighton. The old guard having a little bit of a powwow. Pascal Gross and Lewis Duck.
De Kuyper didn't really seem to be involved in that conversation, did he?
Just making up the numbers.
Wait and see, he'll be the one that takes it.
He might go for a goal. Might go for the goal.
Anticipation around the Amex.
Might go for the goal.
With the Kuyper or the right of Pascal Gross.
Left foot. Oh, it's gone.
By Gross and Dunk. Everywhere he wanted it.
It's
But
gone.
couldn't put it where he wanted to.
Well, it's the best chance of the game so far.
So
Lewis Dunk
close.
should probably
So
do a little bit better. It's a wonderful ball in
So
from Pascal
close.
Gross, nice and flat. Sees it all the way. Lewis Dunk doesn't quite get the right direction on that header. Trying to use the pace and the cross. Main target in the opposition box, Lewis Dunk, so far this afternoon.
It's been a full calendar year since he last scored in the Premier League, Lewis Dunk. This opening of the afternoon, as Ian just said, coming away, the man on the ball.
See what he's trying to do, couldn't he? Just try and find that bottom corner. Easier said than done, some would say.
Bow to your far superior knowledge on that subject. Hughes has intercepted, but the referee has pulled it back.
Just see here, this is the challenge there. Pulled it back. You see Oliver Glasner's reaction here. Very disappointed. His team were very much in the transition there.
It's been an undulating month or so for Oliver Glasson. Appeared to be on his way out when he delivered that bombshell press conference about his players being abandoned, but since then he's clearly tried to draw a line under what's gone before and put themselves in a good position for a strong start to the season, even though their defence of the FA Cup is over.
Well, I think when you get a look at the transfer window, yeah, there was that flashpoint and obviously Mark Gay leaving, but also what they have done is, even if it is only for 5-6 months, they backed the manager, spent a lot of money in January, Crystal Palace.
They've twice broken their club transfer record in the space of a couple of weeks. First Brennan Johnson and Jürgen Strand last.
You do wonder if they did that earlier, would you maybe thought twice about putting pen to paper?
You never know.
I think what is safe to say is that when he does exit the club in the summer, he's left them in a really strong position. When you get a look at the players out on show today for Crystal Palace and what they're capable of as a group, it's a very exciting job for the next man.
Well, the question is, and we're still really waiting for the answer to it, is what effect his announcement that he is leaving on the end of the season is going to have on the squad in the medium term. Recent results would suggest it's not particularly positive. The Conference League playoff up and coming in the next couple of weeks to try and progress in that. This is how looking to progress Brighton, but he's picked out Mitchell rather than Kadioglu, who'd gone forward.
Oh, you're such a star. Look at you.
Does well let Howe pull first pass, but
Yeah. You look so cool.
does the right thing, gets back
Thank
in,
you.
tight to his man, doesn't let him go. He's aware that his fullback is in front of him as well, so extremely important that he didn't let Mitchell slip away from him in that situation.
Wow.
He's part of the Hinchelwood dynasty that's featured so prominently in the recent history of this football club. His cousin Jack is on the bench.
If you go far enough back, he's got Crystal Palace heritage as well.
Another one like you, Glenn.
Yeah.
Remember?
You okay? Oh my God, another floor. Oh no, what happened?
Interesting to look at the fact that possession is far from level. Certainly wasn't the case here last season. More on that in a moment as Rutek looks to make inroads.
Just hesitation as he approaches the 18-yard box there. Ruta doesn't quite make his mind up. Is he going to play that ball to his right hand side? Is he going to have a little shimmy and get a shot away? Somebody's have hesitation at this level of football. Somebody's there tackling you. You haven't got that time.
With Pino. Yeah, last season when Crystal Palace came here and won, they did so with 35% of the ball. Mitchell. Got there first. Kadioglu. Kostulas. He's gone to roaming.
Going into the game a little bit, Pino hasn't really been involved much. A couple of touches there. Not just before, but he's the man that Crystal Palace need to get more involved in this fixture. The main creator in their side.
Come on, who you got?
He's set up with real purpose here. The
Need some
Turkish
votes.
international
Oh,
Kadioglu.
Crystal Palace, 100% vote.
End product.
Well, I think in all fairness, as he approached there, he didn't have many options, did he, in front of him?
Palace.
been very conservative so far, Kadioglu.
We voted for Palace there, 100%.
Good steal by
There
Saar.
they
He's
come.
got options right and left. And to dunk. It is well done there. Pino. Now waiting. Brighton have the throw. The match that started with real vim and vigour from both sides has just calmed down a little bit, given the form that both these two clubs are in. You can understand that there's a overbearing concern not to have another defeat. It's Sunday lunchtime, Bill. Time for a stroll on the south coast. Or not. Costulas has already shown in his brief Premier League career that he's capable of the special and the spectacular. We saw a match of the Premier League at Molyneux yesterday, Van Mosquera, 4 Wolves against Chelsea, the dead weight penalty. That was very much out of that playbook on Saar, but outside the box. Well, this is the exact situation. I highlighted it earlier on. Scaggy doesn't want to get in that foot race with Saar. Not many people can keep up with Ismail Assar. That's where the keeper's got to get his balance just right to protect his centre half in those situations. Doesn't agree with it. The ball to Will Hughes to take for Crystal Palace in front of their travelling fans. In by Hughes. Hooked away by Matoma. Larson putting himself about. Good touch. Good potential here. Matoma, Tahal, Kadioglu on the outside, but it's Harry Howe. Now it's Kadioglu. Lacroix was back.
Excellent.
Up to spin Saar. Twice a score in the win here last season. Like that. As Reuter. Palaceman holds its head, and the referee is obliged to bring play to a halt. You can hear the frustrations around the stadium, but I actually do think Reuter does catch Saar with his shoulder in his face. I don't think he means to, just body checks him, but because of Saar's position, he can see, takes a glancing blow to the side of his head. The referee is right to stop the game. Fabian Herzl are clearly not of the same view, but I think the evidence we've seen would suggest that that's absolutely the correct decision from Thomas Bramall. Questions from some quarters being asked of Fabian Herzl and whether Brighton are moving in the right direction. Paul Barber felt the need to defend him in his column in the programme today. So he feels the club's very much moving in the right direction, and the margins between success and failure are fine. All those draws that they have the most in the Premier League, it's just a question of finding a way to turn those into wins. When they do, the potential within this squad really could mount that charge to European football. If not this year, maybe next year, but patience at this level of football is what you need, and Tony Bloom does give that to his football club and his managers. Gives them a foundation to show what they're capable of.
They're 3 points worse off than they were at this stage last year. You compare it to Roberto De Zerbi's time the year before, 4 points worse off than the two previous seasons. So it's certainly a remainder of the campaign that is laden with potential. Still in the FA Cup, of course. The side they welcome here. This is Matoma. Oh, that's cross to Kuiper. Kadioglu. Saar. To Kuiper. Didn't really catch it. The Brighton fullback. There was a big chance in there, Glenn.
Yeah, there was a big chance, wasn't there? Good by Mitoma, one-on-one, getting past his man and delivering that ball. Castulas should do better, really. Hands-on-head moment there. He's got across the front man. He sees the ball all the way. He's got to get the touch on the ball and turn it goalwards. Doesn't quite get it, and then it falls to De Kuiper, who gets a good shot across. But good shot by that man there. Just sparked into life there, didn't it?
And that's one of the big areas that Fabian wants to improve, the taking of opportunities. Wharton down here. And a free kick for Crystal Palace as a result of the challenge on him.
Yeah, frustrations are building. See his challenge again. It's a good touch, maybe a little bit actually heavy, isn't it? I'm not sure who gives the foul away. A little pull on the arm there. I told him was going back towards him. There's an awful lot in it.
Yeah, the VAR today is James Bell. Minimal contact was his view on it, which I think we'd all be in agreement with.
Fabian Herzler pleading with the fourth official.
40% of Crystal Palace's goals this season have come from set-piece situations. Pino delivers that one. Munoz, a little touch on by Lacroix. Wharton! We'd rather it were on his left, and it sailed well over.
Good from the Crystal Palace perspective, getting the first contact, second contact, and might even get the third contact as well. When it falls to him on the edge of the box, they can't quite wrap his foot round it. You see what he's trying to do. Look at that top corner on his weaker foot. Easy, high and wide. Definitely been hurt in that challenge, hasn't he? Walked limping about still.
Have been the contact on him that did any damage, but he seemed to sort of jar his knee a little bit, didn't he, as he went to ground. See if he can run that off. Castulas. It's the battle of the centre forwards. And now rolls it in for Mitoma. Flag up on the far side.
Well, he certainly seems to Brighton like the one that can get him beyond, can create those moments. And a tight decision there, I think could be just about correct.
Henderson isn't the easiest one. Runs towards him, but he's got it well away. Castulas. Believer. Swept out for Ruta. Nudge on the back of Lama. There's only going to be one result there.
In and around the box. Adrian Ruta needs to make better decisions. It's a couple of occasions now. Good positions, made wrong choices. So I mean, it's pretty soft, but he's lost the ball with his efforts to try and get into the 18-yard box there. Lama very happy to feel that hand is back and buy that free kick.
The big weekend on Sky Sports continues. The conclusion of the Phoenix Open Day 4 from 5 o'clock on Sky Sports Golf. Part 2 of Super Sunday. Liverpool against Manchester City, 4:30 kick-off at Anfield. And from Super Sunday to the Super Bowl, the Seahawks against the Patriots. Coverage starts at 10 o'clock tonight.
See here, just a slight arm in Munoz's face there. That's what he's asking the question for. See it just slips up off his shoulder into the side of his head. Yeah, I've checked and cleared it.
Decent distance from Richards. Thought about coming third, Bruggen. It's a little bit scrappy, a little bit messy. Wasted by Mitchell. So he needs to check his forward progress and get back.
Well, what started off very fast is just starting to turn a little bit edgy, a bit cagey, isn't it, Bill? Pace has slowed down.
Last season's game's a little bit of an outlier in terms of the number of goals within them. Usually cagey affairs. That's Ruta, hit his own man. Kostulas, the keeper, line. There's the offside flag anyway.
Well, this time, Ruta does get the ball out of his feet and hits it. Fortunately, Brighton hits his own man. I think it's Kadioglu just drifting that offside position.
Look back over recent meetings between these two. Of course, a draw earlier on this season, one of 7 of the last 13 meetings that have ended level. And of course, love a draw. 6 of their last 10 have ended up level. 10 Premier League games have ended up in a draw in which they have been involved. Richards and into onside, believe he was taking a risk at bringing it down there.
Well, I actually think it falls to Strand Larsen in the middle of the box there, but from a Brighton point of view, Crystal Palace getting too many first contacts in the 18-yard box. I think the Glasgow will be delighted. You just see there, just flicks up off Believer. Once this ball's won by Lacroix, actually hits Strand Larsen, not quite alive enough to direct it goalwards. Certainly a threat. Set pieces, Crystal Palace seems to be like the main way into this game so far.
Bruggen forced into an error by the Palace press. Wharton, good spell this for Palace. Munoz is onto it. And Duncan to the rescue.
It's good play by Crystal Palace. Once this ball arrives at Adam Wharton, manages to sweep it out wide. All of a sudden, you've got players running towards the Brighton box. Munoz, who usually puts it right on the money, puts into the danger area. Lewis Dunk equal to it. It's not have a big afternoon in both boxes, Livingston.
Approaching the last 5 minutes of the first half. Hughes on corner duties again. Brighton trying to free a little bit of space for himself. Doing well under pressure. A little bit of contact on him afterwards by Jefferson Lerma.
Yeah, he does well, the Brighton goalkeeper, under quite a lot of pressure there, manages to swing an arm at it, gets it clear. And all right, it's actually Lerma who falls into the post, backwards, back into Verbruggen.
It's another chance for Chris Richards to find his range. Getting the first contact on that account. Back with Richards. Nice angle on that. And a good defensive header. You can tell by the reaction of Ismail Assar. He thought he was on there.
And Crystal Palace starting to build up a little bit of pressure on Brighton here at the Amex. Really good header that from Pascagli. Takes it right off Ismail Assar's forehead. 6 yards from goal.
The Eagles finishing this first half in good style. And they get themselves something to show for it, though. He wasn't completely short there, was he?
First Ismail Assar doesn't it? Can't quite get contact on it there. The Crystal Palace man. He might have been offside when he does get it here. Jefferson Lerma wins it, just see there. Doesn't get any contact, but it wouldn't have mattered either way. Offside. What a good spell for Crystal Palace, this. Carlos Believer needs to go a little bit better in the centre of the park. A couple of occasions he's given it away. Just a little bit sloppy with his passing so far this afternoon.
He's lost the ball there, and it could open up for Ismail Assar. It's Sarr, but it's wide.
Well, there's the threat, and it seems to be that man if anyone's going to break the deadlock for Crystal Palace. And again, it was Believer, just sloppy, just doesn't quite keep hold of the ball right away. That man's always going to give you that option going forward. Lewis Dunk does well to marshal him further out wide. Doesn't quite get the angle on the finish Ismail Assar would have liked.
Yeah, there is a perception that having hit the heights last season, Carlos Believer hasn't been able to repeat the feat this. He's been away and AFCON duty with Cameroon. Sarr, who was also away victoriously with Senegal, but he's lost out. Costivas. Drilled in Hull, wasn't a million miles away.
Yeah, it's better by Brighton, get the ball in a little bit early when this Crystal Palace defence isn't set. Now,
Still no goal.
close to getting a nick to that.
He scored a goal for Brighton before. His last appearance came in the Carabao Cup against Barnsley
Still no
back
goals.
in September. Got a goal off the bench on that occasion. One previous Premier League appearance came here towards the end of last season when he came off the bench with his cousin, actually, Jack Hinshelwood, in that 3-2 win after Liverpool had secured the title.
I remember that game.
So far, it's been a good debut for him. Plenty of touches, plenty of positivity from the young man. When I get a look at this first half, there's his cousin there sat on the bench. He'd be eager to join him. But when I get a look, so far, this performance, Brighton need to move the ball quicker, keep that energy up. Crystal Palace very happy to sit in and then win the ball, counter-attack. Like we've got used to under Oliver Glasner. When they do, they're good at it.
Lerma. Lerma has caught one. He's riding around. And so the referee wants to check he's okay before continuing here.
Yeah, he does. He might actually get poked in the eye. See Lerma there. I don't think there's any intent. I think he's just blocking the path for the player. He's worried he's going to lose the ball. When you get a look at Thomas' position, he's quite low, isn't he? His head's close to Lerma's arm, but it doesn't hurt any less. Well, we approach the third 45 minutes. These two have faced each other. It hasn't produced a goal so far this season. But it's wonderfully poised here at the Amex.
As we touched on earlier on, there is the opportunity for a transformative afternoon here for both these two who've had lukewarm form. Both found the recent going equally difficult. 9 points from a possible 33 since the start of December.
Everyone off to get their half-time cuppers.
Prolonged treatment here for Karu Mitoma. Contacts apparently worse than it looked initially. Gotten one up the hooting, suggests that he's put on the bridge of the nose as well. Checks ongoing.
All the relevant checks taking place. Not too careful these days with player health.
Perhaps not a surprise, Glenn, that we've been struggling for goal mouth incident in the first half since the win at Fulham. The last Premier League win for Dean Henderson and Crystal Palace back at the start of December. No one has scored fewer goals than they have in the league. And Brighton, in similar time, have only managed to goal a game 9 in 9 over the same period. Palace scoring just 5 in that time.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say neither team in form, but both looking to rediscover it.
Got
No
books
time
in
like
eye.
the present. And Toma looks like he's going to be okay to come on.
Petering out towards half-time, I think it's safe to say.
I think that's a fair assessment. And a big drifting in the play. Both managers will be looking to get their sides back in and get them fired up for the second half. It was a lively start to this first period, but as Glenn just said, it has drifted a little.
The more it goes like this, you just wonder, will it be a mistake that breaks the deadlock? He's getting a little bit tense, not wanting to be the one that does make that mistake.
Well, it was goalless back in November at Selhurst Park, and half-time at the Amex, it is goalless. Couple of bright spots, an impressive full debut from Harry Howe. Strand Larsen, not really too much to get his teeth into just yet. Half-time score. Brighton 0, Crystal Palace 0.
It's been very quiet first half. Not much you can shout about. Not much to shout about, to be honest with you. It's been a very quiet one. Palace, they came out to play, you know. So does Brighton. It's just been, I'll say 50-50 performance from both sides. But there's not much in it. Not much at all. But we're looking forward to the big one, City. Liverpool versus City. Straight after this one, we're heading to Anfield. Hopefully City can win that game, man. Hopefully we can get a win from City to keep up with Arsenal. But I kind of have a feeling if they don't, United will finish second. We will finish second. Let's have a look from yesterday's.
Good afternoon. Welcome along to Anfield. Ahead of a brilliant day of sport for you. We're here keeping you company.
The title is gone. If City don't win against Liverpool, do you think the title is gone?
Brilliant day of sport for you. We're here keeping you company.
If they don't win on Anfield today, the title might just be gone because that'll be 9 point. That'll be 9 point out. Oh, it's painful to even say that Arsenal might win the league.
All the way through till 8 o'clock, and talking about, as Vince Lombardi was, competitive men, we've assembled four of the most competitive: Jamie Carragher, Daniel Sturridge, Micah Richards and Roy Keane. Great day ahead, Roy, and very much looking forward to this contest here at Anfield later. But how do you see it? Do you think that for Manchester City they have to win to keep the title race alive?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, obviously we're running out of games. Arsenal obviously having another big win yesterday, scoring goals, another clean sheet. So yeah, putting the pressure back on City, and of course Liverpool have lost their way a little bit this year in terms of their league form, and they'll be worried about obviously missing out on that Champions League. So big game for both clubs. Yeah,
must win, Micah.
Must win. I'm saying it now. This is league-defining weekend. If City lose, I think it's all over. If they can stay within 6 points, they've got a game in April as well. Man City were to win that and go 3 points towards the end of the season. Man City are really good at this part of the season towards the end. But I'm excited. I can feel something today. Man City have played well in the last 2 games. Newcastle were very good. Spurs in the first half, they were very good also.
Hyped, bro.
Defensively, frailties, but going forward, the combinations, they're there.
We talk about City being good at this time of the season, and it has traditionally been a time where Manchester City have come alive. You look at their 8 title-winning seasons. Look at this from the last 14 games. 18-19, they took maximum points. I'm not sure that 30 would be enough for City this time round. That would leave them on 77. Daniel, do you think this current Manchester City team has it in them to put on a run of this kind of type that could really threaten Arsenal?
I think they do. But today is a big moment for them, for confidence and for momentum. It's not I wouldn't say it's a season-defining game, but for confidence and momentum it is, because psychologically you're going into the other games knowing that you've got to build this run, and I think today puts a downer on the camp. It makes you feel as if, look, man, it's a massive task now, guys, and we're behind the 8 ball a little bit. So I think, you know, when you look at them, you look at the squad they have, Haaland's not at his best at the moment, so you imagine that's going to turn. And
out of confidence. Yeah, it's not been the most amazing watch in terms of entertainment and chance creation, But you know, they've been finding their moments as best they possibly can. It's been a bit disjointed up front in terms of combinations and the final pass. But yeah, it's been a difficult half for both teams, to be honest.
De Cowper getting closest for Brighton, who seemed to start pretty well, Micah.
Yeah, he started well, getting the ball out to Matoma on his left-hand side. And this is the old Matoma. Beat his man, can go both ways. And then you just see De Cowper in the box, just waiting. Has a shot, let's say, on the line. But you're thinking with his technique there, probably should do a little bit more.
I think the big miss is the striker. He does brilliant to get across the knee. He's got to get something on that. If he gets something on that, Costulas probably ends up a goal, Daniel. Yeah, it looks like he should. He has got to get there. He throws his foot. He's got to at least slide through it if he's going to go for it. Maybe with his left foot if he needs to, but it doesn't look like that's maybe a run he's used to make. I know it sounds crazy, but it is a skill set to go near post and make that connection.
What about Sarr at the other end?
I mean, the pass was weighted really, really nice. When you look at the dispossession of Baleba in the midfield here from Wharton, the weight of the pass was really nice from Munoz, and you're thinking, takes the angle there. It's the defending for me that's really good. I think Sarr's probably done what he could possibly do. Of course, going across the goal is the better shot, but don't gives him the angle and shows him one way, and that's what you have to do as a good centre-half.
One goal might settle this for either side, and Palace were hoping it might come from their record signing, Jurgen Strand-Larsen, £48 million. And 45 minutes in, he's yet to find the mark. He hasn't registered a shot yet. Maybe the second half will be his.
And he's gonna become who we know him to be, which is an out-and-out goal scorer weekly. They've made some very good signings. They're getting players back fit. So all in all, you know, today is a big game for them, but momentum and confidence is the most important thing for that Manchester City team.
Mike has gone big early, must win. But would it be a shock if City did win?
Yeah, I'd be surprised if City win today. That's going to go everywhere, isn't it? No, but notoriously, Man City find it difficult at this stadium. Pep Guardiola does, and far better Manchester City teams than what they've got right now. So, as I said, Liverpool normally do well in this fixture. And I think with how Liverpool sort of have looked in sort of the last couple of games at home, you know, a European game and against Newcastle scoring plenty of goals, starting to look a little bit more exciting. And Manchester City are going to play a game today that is not the one that Arne Slot keeps talking about, is giving Liverpool problems in terms of set pieces, low blocks. So I think it'd be a great game, it'd be an open game, and that'll suit Liverpool, and it'll suit City as well. I don't think Liverpool are great defensively. I think we saw that in the first half an hour against Newcastle. Very fortunate only to be 1-0 down, Liverpool. So it should be a really good game, but yeah, Liverpool normally do well in this fixture.
If they don't win, Micah, could it actually go the other way for Manchester City, given that Manchester United have won? Look at me like that. Man United have won 4 out of 4. Chelsea, the same.
I mean, anything can happen, but no, I mean, to come to Liverpool is always difficult. I think last time the one here was 2021, so we know Jamie's right.
Including that one?
Well, yeah, we're including everything, because it's there for the stats.
But it's relevant, is it not? That the fans weren't here.
Yeah, but they still won, didn't they? Do you know what I mean?
Well, I do.
But in terms of Man City are not going to buckle because the standards have been so high. Are Man City what they were a couple of seasons ago? Probably not, but I've just seen signs of Man City building some momentum. If Gay comes back into the side today, hopefully he's fine. I think we're going to see a terrific game today.
But when was the last time we saw Man City win a big game away from home? You always, when looking back at the last few years, you always felt City in their prime when they were really at it. You never bet against them. But at this moment in time, you're looking defensively, there's still use question marks. Yeah, still nice on the eye, still obviously will cause problems going forward. But defensively, yeah, you'd be worried for them.
But you're talking about momentum. They've won 1 and 6 in the Premier League. So, I mean, they're not building momentum right now. And I think if City don't win today, I agree with Roy, most of the lads, that, you know, the title's gone, that's over. They become now in the fight for Champions League. If Man City lose here, they're only 3 points ahead of Manchester United. Do you know what I mean? And if Liverpool win today, that they're not a million miles away from Manchester United as well. So then you'd almost become the top team of the Champions League race. You're not chasing Arsenal.
I just think more in terms of the way Man City have been playing. If you watched them against Spurs in the first half, they was exceptional. Again against Newcastle, 3-0 at half-time. They was playing some really good football. I think the question today is, how does Haaland fit into what they want to do? So historically, Man City win the ball back up high and very quickly. With Haaland, it doesn't seem to be working. When they played with Semenyo, and you did the game as well, and Mamouche, the difference in terms of them getting the ball back quickly and pressing high and the rotation, it was like watching Man City of old. Like I said, the conundrum...
So would you put Haaland on the bench?
No, I'm just saying in terms of when Haaland will be introduced into the game. If you want coming to Anfield and it's ferocious, maybe it is, time to put Haaland and introduce it in the second half when the game opens up.
I mean, it's obviously, I don't imagine Haaland to be on the bench personally. What I will say is when you look at the signings they've made in Semenyo and Guehi, they've had joy playing against Liverpool as well as here at Anfield. So I think they're coming in with an edge to them, knowing that Liverpool are beatable. But look, it's a team game at the end of the day, but you'd expect that the players have to have big performances today if they want to get the job done here.
Mike has turned up. He's gone big. Must win. Haaland on the bench. We will... Who could Virgil van Dijk be talking about? Let's start with the positive. He still thinks this could be a very special season. Could you see that?
Yes. I think the only way this becomes a special season is if Liverpool win the Champions League. I don't think winning the FA Cup is enough for a team who won the title the season before and then spent 450 million on new players. But Liverpool look a lot better in the Champions League than they do in the Premier League because the team is not fully equipped to go and win the Premier League right now. They can't handle the physicality that comes with the Premier League, but in the Champions League it's a different beast. And then once you get into the knockout stage, you get Anfield roaring on the front foot. Liverpool have a really good chance in the Champions League.
Daniel, do you think former players, top players, have a responsibility to the current generation?
Yeah, they do. I think I agree with him.
What's the top player though? Can we?
Well, if you don't think you won, then that's on you. I'm merely saying, I include myself in that. And I'm saying, for me, I think we do because we've been the other side of it. We've experienced it. I experienced it as a player, and it don't feel good.
What impact did it have on you? Criticism and outside noise?
I mean, as you said, there's a difference between criticism, constructive criticism and disrespect, and it depends on the level at which we believe, as the people on the other side, what we believe to be disrespectful, and how the player takes it is down to them. For me, I try to operate in a way of saying, like, how would I feel in the situation or in the moment? Because we've all been there, and I agree with him. We've all been there. We've all faced highs, lows in different moments within our careers, and it's important for us to give people the nuance, what it feels like to be in the dressing room, what it feels like to be when you're low, when you've had injuries, all of those things. Those are the perspectives that we all have shared throughout our careers. So I do agree with him. We have a duty to the next generation, not just the current players, but the players after them as well. And how we go about that, everybody's different. So.
Well, there's your man there. You criticised me when I was at Villa. At Villa, I had an absolute stinker. It was against Liverpool. I think we lost 6-0. And you said I wouldn't sign any of the Villa players.
Did anyone sign you?
No. No, there's a couple of things. But I think, it was tongue-in-cheek. I think he's got a point. But I think because his standards have been so high and then they fell off, then people are going to criticise. I don't think we intentionally try to disrespect. I never do anyway. I never go personal. But for where Liverpool were last season, winning the league, to where they are now, we try to be constructive.
And nobody likes to be criticised. But talking about when he mentioned the word top players, but the really good players are usually their biggest critics anyway. You criticise yourself for your performances. And we were praising Liverpool all last season. Liverpool outstanding, absolutely brilliant. But when this time of the season, and when you're 17 points worse off than the league leaders, then you're going to be criticised. I think you have to suck it up. Yeah, I think there's always a worry if it gets personally. I can see players getting upset. But when you're criticising Liverpool's team for being a bit open, or the amount of games they've lost, the way they lost at Bournemouth recently, guess what? You're going to get criticised. Because last year, when you're doing really well, and you're celebrating 5-6 games to go, and you're going off to a beat.
Again, needs a goal. What do we make of Jurgen Strand Larsen so far? Daniel?
I think, he's started okay. He's not held the ball up amazing. Of course, they're going to need to see more from him. They used to have a big centre up there. He was a handful. But we're looking at Strand Larsen, who's been brought in for a big price tag. Of course, he's there to score goals. He's there to help his team in games, and that's what he's
working hard, though, isn't he?
I mean,
he's celebrating blocking shots.
You know, I don't know why you said that, but listen, at the end of the day, it's a team game, of course, but this guy's got to work his socks off for his team, but also the main thing is he's brought in to score goals.
And that wasn't constructive criticism.
Oh, come on. He was celebrating.
He's a player that needs a goal as well, and his team certainly do. Only Wolves have scored fewer so far. Brighton themselves have failed to score 8 times in the first half in front of their own fans this season. Second half then, Glenn Murray and Bill Leslie.
David, thank you. Well, the first half might not be long in the memory, but the second one is really important for these two. This is the last 45 minutes of Premier League action of the month of February. And only the second 45 minutes of action in the month of February. They head off on their travels, including a trip to Aston Villa in the week and a trip to Brentford at the end of the month, a trip to Anfield in the FA Cup, sandwiched in between that. Given the noise that we've touched on throughout the first half commentary about Fabian Herzl and needing to convince a few, it's important that Brighton particularly seize the nettle here and kick on and try to at least make a little bit more of a contest of it.
Yeah, I think it was right what the guys were saying in the studio. Two teams very much in an unconfident moment of the season. From a Brighton perspective, they need to move this ball quicker, play with more energy, give the fans something to feed off, because at the moment it's a bit flat here at the Amex. Mr. Palace will be absolutely delighted with that. Obviously not been pretty, but the more they invite Brighton on, the more likely they are to get in behind them with the runners like Sarr. We've seen it a couple of occasions in the first half.
Smell like food.
Well, taking the central position when Lieber takes it up his toes. So that was in the plan.
The Lieber nearly took everything.
It's nothing
Here
there.
is Hal. I think shown enough in the first half, hasn't he, to justify his selection. Ruta is first on the scene to clear. Here's Boscali, if you're wondering where Jean-Paul van Hecker is today. Picked up a slight hamstring issue in training in the week, so he's not risky. Not serious, Fabian Herzl. Kadioglu. Kostulas. Gross. And Howe.
If there's one criticism of the Brighton youngsters is just living up to that physicality, but that'll come. They've both shown signs they can belong at this level.
Fabian Herzl saying earlier that he felt that the way that they've been training in the week, that it was no gamble to throw them in. He did miss the team news earlier on. 18-year-old Kostulas handed just his second Premier League start. Harry Howe handed his first.
Thanks for the votes, guys. Thanks for voting. Oh, somebody's gone for a draw. I think there's a goal in this game.
Off Mitchell.
Oh,
Kostulas. Gross. Away by Munoz.
someone has gone for a draw.
It's a head start ahead of the quick. For Strand Larsen.
Oh,
The dunk got there at about the same time.
A well-timed tackle by Dunbar. Strand Larsen just tries to dip in front of him. They're right at the perfect moment. So far, Crystal Palace's record signing relatively quiet.
haven't been scoring for Wolves in the Premier League. He hasn't really been starting for Wolves in the Premier League as we approach the end of December.
It's difficult to
and
score
start
if you
of
don't start.
January.
Strikers Union and all that.
He had been coming off the bench, having said that, and of course he did bang in a hat-trick in the FA Cup against Shrewsbury. Believer. Rutan. Loose touch from Rutan. Invites Palace on. An invitation they accept. Munoz.
Very poor.
Quite up to his usual standards. Munoz ventured forward too often this afternoon. At the moment, he's only got one man to pick out, usually Strand Larsen.
He missed 8 league games, didn't he, with injury, Daniel Munoz. This is his 3rd start since. Probably, possibly feeling the effects of full match sharpness back.
Yeah, it doesn't really affect Crystal Palace's style when Daniel Munoz isn't playing. No one quite of that profile at the football club to fill those boots. Nathaniel Klein filled in for a few weeks, didn't he? But not quite the same outlet.
Even had Justin Devaney in there for one game, I think. Devaney amongst the missing injured. With Marshall by Munoz.
The right idea by Dunk. Good in out to win run by Mitoma, but marshalled very well by Munoz. Never really engages with the play, just waits for that touch. Steps in, good defending.
Will Hughes has been booked. In fact, he'd do well to remind himself of. Not that that was a yellow card offence, but can't afford too many.
Yeah, just goes fishing there, doesn't he, Will Hughes? Don't think there's much in it. But the last thing you want to go off for is an accumulation.
That's what happened to Adam Wharton in quick succession against Chelsea, wasn't it? Mitoma. Good injection of pace, but Ruter's touch not up to scratch, and not for the first time in the second half.
Yeah, not been his afternoon so far. Jorginho Ruter got to take care of that football much better. He's that link, isn't he, in transition. So many times this afternoon it's broken down when it's come to him.
The complaints that in fact he would prefer to play as a number 10 and has been employed wider up front, but pretty much in the number 10 role today and hasn't been able to impose himself on the match.
Yeah, I think him and Stulas are interchangeable, but regardless of position, you've got to look after the football much better.
What's Harris doing?
There is the evidence, the smoking gun, if you like. Believer. Kadioglu. How? Kadioglu just moved around that. Shut away by Lacroix as far as Believer.
Well, this game very much in the balance. He's just waiting for someone to take control, someone to make a moment count. A bit of brilliance, go past somebody, breathe a bit of life into it.
If you look back at the history of this fixture, and it will tell you that it's peppered with those who have stood up and been counting and made memories, whether it be Wilfried Zaha in a championship playoff semi-final here. It will be the first goal for the club of Jean-Philippe Matata. Christian Benteke getting the winner here in an extraordinary game where Palace won with just 25% of the ball and scored with only 2 efforts on target.
Is that the end of the list? I thought you were working to a crescendo.
Let's save a few to drip feed in for you later, Glenn. Harsh. We haven't got to your ones yet, so an FA Cup winner scored by Glenn Murray. He's unrescuable. Here's Belieber. Looking for Matoma.
Easy.
He's been alert today, Dean Anderson. Not had an awful lot to do, but in moments read the game really well. First half when he steps out. Wins it with his feet that time. Very much in control of the situation.
Not getting there ahead of Jürgen Strand-Larsen. Strand-Larsen on his debut, and we're about to see another Crystal Palace debut for a January arrival. Loney from Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Becomes the Ivory Coast international for his first taste of Premier League football in the colours of Crystal Palace. Didn't see an awful lot of him in action in the Premier League for Aston Villa. Started 6 games for them. He did miss them. He's versatile. He can play across the front. Probably rather play out wide and centrally, although he can do both. Interesting to see exactly where he fits into the Palace plan.
Like you said, the minutes Aston Villa would have liked. This is his opportunity at Crystal Palace. This level of football.
The beef from the back sent forward here. On the limits of Richard's range, this. Doesn't get great distance, it's away fairly comfortably by Hal. Yes, sir. Wharton. Hughes. So crowded out, there were 3 Brighton players in very close proximity. Richards.
Spell of possession here at Crystal Palace. Haven't really got their foot on the ball much during this game.
What about coming to Verbruggen, but quickly realised he was going to have to deal with it himself. Here is Dunk. Ruter. And by Wharton. Sarr. Stay down for now. Hughes felt he was fouled, and referee Thomas Bramall agrees with him.
No one's quite won that midfield battle between the two teams, have they? What a good hold on the game. Very scrappy in the middle of the park. See there, Jorginho Rutek, the free kick away. It's another opportunity for Crystal Palace to put it into Brighton's box. There's questions from a set piece point of view. They've been very strong at this season.
Heads down, Strand-Larsen. Stretch-legged Lerma. And a free kick for Brighton.
Lerma reaching out, bad touch. Matoma gets in. Foul actually, because Matoma would have been away. He had acres of space in front of him. The momentum on the standing Adam Wharton. Well, it's about now Fabian Hursley usually makes changes, load of changes. Very good at going to his bench, changing games. And you get a look at his bench. I think the likes of Minte, would add a little bit of energy into this game. Danny Welbeck, the experience on the bench. Can he be the one that keeps his composure and cool in a key moment?
A game that has provided precious few moments. Question remains, who can provide the moment?
Well, this is a couple by Lerma. So in just a couple of moments, walking a very tight line when it comes to yellow cards.
Play again.
The next one probably will
That's
be
it,
for the
play.
Crystal Palace centre back.
Munoz, Strand Larsen. Guess so. He's from on the ball. He's found his way. It's Sarr! It's 1-0 for Crystal Palace.
Pollies.
Ismaila Sarr, and it again for the Eagles at the MX. But an honourable mention to the debutant Evan Gesson, who sent him on his way.
You see
And
that?
on the hour mark, the Eagles
Goal.
take the lead.
Go.
Well, it certainly does
Go.
love this fixture, doesn't he, Ismaila Sarr?
Go.
He's said a couple of occasions. He looks the
Go.
most likely to break the deadlock that he has here at the MX. Just gets away from He's in acres of space in the middle of the pitch. Manages to keep the recovering defenders at bay.
There.
Keep his composure. Put it high into the middle of the goal. It's a huge finish for his side. See here, just moves that ball. It's almost right at the ball and actually hits him, but it doesn't matter. He got to his destination eventually.
Oliver Glasner sees his side score with their first effort on target of the match.
Henderson celebrating as if he's the one that scored the goal. Knee slide and everything.
Almost on Brighton. Can they get back into this side now? Into this game, sorry. Just wonder in that episode there where Ferdy Kadioglu was going. Yannick Marlassar decided to engage on the left-hand side. He's obviously the Brighton right back. And when he does that, it just opens up acres of space in the middle. You can't let the likes of Ismaila Sarr be unmarked in those situations.
Brighton do have a decent record of coming from behind to pick up points. 14 of their tally thus far they have done from that position. Up against the Crystal Palace side here that's only managed one clean sheet in their last 10 Premier League games. They usually find a way to score as well, Brighton. And they've got just about half an hour to do so. And they're staring down the barrel of their third defeat against Crystal Palace in their last 4 Premier League beatings.
Well, when you talk about resolve, after scoring first away from home the last 4 times, Crystal Palace have 3 wins. Brighton conceding first at home. They've come back twice in 4. For a grandstand finish this game. It's back into life.
In by Gross, just too high for Kostulas. Ruta. A bit away by Wharton and was caught by Ruta.
Just needs to swing back to basics. Touch. Find a teammate. In a different position. There he is. Plotting his way back into this fixture.
What happened?
In this part 1 of Super Sunday, pieces being put in place for part two. Liverpool arriving at Anfield as they prepare to welcome Pep Guardiola and Manchester City. Kick-off at 4:30 from Merseyside. Rutan.
Oh, here they come.
Kostulas.
Big save.
Henderson makes the save. Big save by Dean Henderson. Away by Lacroix. Another foul by Rutan. We won't get away with too many more of those.
No.
It's a really good pass, this, isn't it, by Jorginho Rutan. Eventually finds his way to Kostulas. Doesn't really trust his speed, does he? Decides to take it early. Dean Henderson equal to it. So far this afternoon, Henderson has been absolutely superb in everything he's done. Concentration levels have been peak.
Well, you called it a couple of moments ago, Glenn. Here come the flurry of changes. Danny Welbeck stripped and getting ready for action. Diego Gomez already has done so. And the Paraguayan international with a taste for goal. Here comes Belieber. Palace have the corner.
Crystal Palace definitely have the physicality and the height advantage in this game.
Do they have the quality of delivery from Will Hughes? But Brooklyn didn't get there. Lerma was there first.
Well, Brooklyn's hesitant in this situation. Should come out and command his box, really. He doesn't actually get a ride out from Lerma. He attacks his ball. Just managed just to get a glove to it for Bruggen.
Yankuba Minte is also going to be introduced as part of a triple change. Belieber. We believe it's one of those going to be withdrawn, as is Howe. On the ball here for Brighton. Luke.
Yeah.
Right idea by Brassard goes a wrong wavelength between him and Ruta. Making the changes. Can they make the difference for Brighton and Hove Albion?
The goal scorer son. Lerma. Very animated on the touchline. Oliver Glasner wasn't pleased at all with the way the possession was gifted back to their hosts. Quarter of this contest remains. Groans around the house supporters. He took their time to get it forward.
No such groans at that end.
was just over 20 minutes away from their first Premier League win in 10 games. A lot of work to do before they get there, and that sort of work will help them no end. Wharton striding forward elegantly, finding Munoz. Wharton again, at the very heart of this move. In by Wharton. The final ball couldn't find the target.
Well, one thing this circumstance is going to do is going to make Brighton come out and play. Therefore, there's going to be gaps, there's going to be spaces. That's when Oliver Glaston's side look at their best.
So Carlos Baliba withdrawn and Diego Gomez on in his place. There goes the number 53, so that's the end of the full Premier League debut for Harry Howe. Given Minter on in his place. There'll be a little shift around with Maxime de Kuyper withdrawn. Danny Welbeck sent on.
Well, I expect Brighton to start feeding this ball to Minter. He's the spark, he's the one that can create something out of nothing. Got the speed and the energy.
Did get it through to Gesson. Minter crowded out. Mitchell. Look at all Crystal Palace's achievements from last season. One of the lesser spotted gems, if you like, was the fact that they did their first Premier League double against Brighton. They were the first side to come here and win at the Amex when they came here last season. They were on course to become just the second to win here in the league this season if they can see this job through. Gesson. Rudin loses out. That's Sassi going to cash in. Strand Larsen takes it on. The block is made by Verbruggen at the near post.
Oh, he pounces on. It's a sloppy ball back from Mitoma. Just wonder if he can take this earlier. That touch just before takes him slightly wide. It's a poor touch. All the while he's travelling. That angle's getting tighter and tighter, therefore harder to beat for Bruggen. Manager very happy with him though. Worked on scraps this afternoon, Jürgen Strand-Larsen.
Welbeck's touch at the near post means Crystal Palace have the corner. Since Palace have won a Premier League game, it's been a while since they've scored more than one within one. In fact, that last win at Fulham, he said of the last time that they more than just the single goal in a Premier League match. Who's seeking to help change that? Strand-Larsen. It's well wide.
Yeah, just needs to be a little bit cuter with his header. Strand-Larsen tries to put too much power on it. Needs to use the pace on it, guard it goalwards. Growing into the game though, late on, Strand-Larsen.
Leclerc, just an outstretched leg to stop Minter claiming it. Minter appears to Off second best there, but I think he's going to be okay.
Gets in there in the nick of time for quite.
Matoma. It's the Japanese international Keiichi Kamada, who's getting ready to come on the last time that we saw him in action in the Premier League against Manchester City back in December, 5-6 weeks ago.
Troops arriving back for Oliver Glasner. A little bit more strength in depth for Crystal Palace. They're really bare for a stage in the season there, weren't they?
Even at 1-0, the game is still boring. Yeah. Even at 1-0, nothing is happening.
Hughes. By Gomez. I think that's going to be the last contribution from Will Hughes. 75 minutes of full-hearted contribution and a yellow card, which perhaps is a contributory factor. But also 15 minutes or so for the returning Keiichi Kamada.
He's done well, Will Hughes. Does what he does. Spalled in the middle of the park. Kept possession simply when needed to. He's always running that tightrope, wasn't he? Walking that tightrope.
The game is still boring.
A yellow card very early on in the game.
Brighton, they're not doing anything. They're not threatening Palace. It looks like Palace is just gonna, walk away with this 1-0 win.
New faces coming in and old faces returning to the fray after spots on the sidelines. There's certainly more to be positive about than there has been for Crystal Palace in the last few weeks.
Looks like it's going to be a 1-0 game. None of them really hitting top gear. Both sides. Mitoma's not been great. Larson has had a relatively professional performance. I won't say, which is worth £48 million.
But the injury to Van Hecker, they're not exactly full of options in that area of the pitch. Got Igor, who's returned from loan at West Ham United among their substitutes. Beltman can play there should needs be.
They need to do something here.
Well, a chance to relive the moment that, as it stands, defines this contest. Twice he scored here last season, and this is the one that gives Palace the lead this.
So good in these situations, isn't he? Ismail Assar, when he gets away, he's a difficult man to catch. He just slows down in the right moment. Hits the target, lets the ball do the rest of the work. And then they're enjoying the moment as much as he is.
Enjoyed the celebrations as well, having salt in Brighton wounds.
Frustrations starting to show from a Brighton point of view here. Just crowded out Danny Welbeck. See there, Lerma just blocking him out completely. Coming together after that there.
That's probably the most interesting that's happened today. But Brighton, they've been absolutely shite. Relatively quiet. Been kept quiet by Palace.
And this would be such a big result for Crystal Palace if they can get the job done here. just would have ended their winless run. Would be a welcome 3 points that would carry them away from trouble. Would be a welcome 3 points that would carry them above Brighton in the Premier League table as well. Well, they are coming together again, those two. It's definitely a battle we should keep our eye on. Well, Lerma's shown during his time in the Premier League, whether it be Bournemouth or at Crystal Palace, that he has a fuse that when lit can burn pretty quickly. Two more Brighton changes. Jack Hinshelwood and Matt O'Reilly having returned from his loan spell.
Yellow card there.
Roberto De Zerbi at Marseille.
Time wasting. That's all that's been happening, man.
For the
The game is
Seagulls to
absolutely
try
boring.
to help them repair this
I mean, if you're winning, that's fine, but
three surrounding the turnover there. And the Japanese international has got a corner here for Brighton.
Well, that's what Brighton need. Place to take the game to Crystal Palace. That's what the fans here at the Annex expect.
Powered away by Strand Larsen. Showing his defensive values that he'll bring to the party. Philippe Mateta won't be featuring for Crystal Palace for a while they decide whether he needs to have surgery on the knee problem that prevented his move to AC Milan last month. Strand Larsen, one would expect, all being well, will have a decent run in the side to find his feet for the club.
good tackle.
Two more changes for Brighton here would complete their total of 5, and that will mean today will not be the day that Gareth Barry's Premier League appearance record will be equalled. It will be the day that Matt O'Reilly returns to Premier League action for Brighton. And Jack Hinshelwood, who's struggled with injury for any sort of consistent level of appearance this season, is on as well.
Crystal Palace are bullying Brighton. They're off the pace today. Absolutely off it. They're not doing anything special. They've not done anything special there to even get a draw. I don't even think they deserve a draw in this game.
One of the Aston Villa, one of his former clubs, and of course, the man whose record he will equal. Swayed of his
Okay,
career
that's
there.
better. Here they come. And they lost it. That's
Intercepted
clear,
but not
you know.
retained by Tyrick Mitchell. Today will not be the day for him to draw level then. Only a matter of time, one would suspect.
Crystal Palace have spoiled the game really well over the last 10 minutes. Brighton trying to get some momentum, can't quite find that rhythm. He's happy to sit in, show them backwards,
Yes,
work off the back of that.
unlucky.
Sorry, Glenn, just saying Desson had a bit of a nibble there at Pascal Gross, didn't he, which has given Brighton this free kick.
Come on, we need another goal. Make it interesting the last 10 minutes or so.
Playbook. Defensively sound. Dean Henderson, the captain from the back, has kept things
Hopefully
tight.
the City-Liverpool game will be an interesting one.
As the
But
finishing
this
line
game is
approaches,
boring.
so it'll get a little bit nervier. That's in by Gross. Way by Lacroix.
Come on, put it in. Put the cross in.
Wharton. Into the path of Mitchell.
Oh, foot race.
Going in, Mitchell. Minter has the beating, or at least the matching of him for pace.
Oh,
That was enough.
move the ball. It's out of position. There's no defender. Yellow. That's
Sven Larsson on Hedgerwood.
It's not a bad foul that by Sven Larsson. Realised that Mitchell was still up the field, wasn't quite recovering as quickly as what he would have done earlier on in the game. Took one for the team there, Sven Larsson.
3 yellow cards for Palace already.
Minter. Straight into Mitchell. Kamala.
Brighton, they've been so poor. This is not a Brighton week. Look at that. That should be another yellow card for Brighton.
A lift and picks up a card.
The cards are flying now.
Smiles, I'm delighted with this. Was slowing the game down. Taking that free kick given to him by Diego Gomez. Eking seconds away to try and get what is a huge victory, should I say, for Crystal Palace. And the perfect tonic for a bad run of form for Oliver Glasner. Look at the strength and depth they've already got. They've also all of a sudden got the transfer window. Able to bring Son on. Now Brennan Johnson.
Palace, they actually signed some good players.
Fleetingly, the record signing for the club. £35 million from Tottenham Hotspur. The start of last month's transfer window. He's going to come on for the last 5 minutes or so here. And by Wharton, backpedaling. Mitoma.
Oh, pass.
Brighton players pouring forward here. O'Reilly looking for Gross. Minter. 3 in the box here for Brighton.
Offside. Is he not?
Plus Kane Richards. Had the flag up for offside anyway.
That's stupid pass from Minter. You can see him coming back from an offside position and he still gave him the ball. Look at that. You can see that.
Offside, he's trying to recover. I don't think Pascal's asking for that ball at all.
Minter.
Touched offside. He's the man of the moment. Huge applause from the away support. This is the reason his side are 1-0 up at one moment in the game. Bit of quality in front of goal. He does love travelling away to the Amex, Ismail Assar.
You would have thought that when everyone's fit and available, he'll certainly be one of the Palace front line, or the two just behind the striker. Or we assume that either Matata, when he's fit again for the club, or Strand Larsen will be the striker. There's quite an array available now to Oliver Glasner with Sarr. Ketu's played there from time to time. Pino, Brennan Johnson as well. Evan Gessa.
Bodes well for a European adventure in the Conference League. A little bit more firepower, more options for Oliver Glasner.
I think Palace bosses are trying to keep Glasner in. That's why they've done all these signings.
It is Super Bowl.
Super Bowl tonight.
Comes tonight. Seahawks against the Patriots. Our
Might
coverage on
stream
Sky Sports
Super Bowl
NFL
tonight.
starts at 10 o'clock. A scoreline that will carry Palace 9 clear of West Ham, 9 clear of trouble. And they will be sitting a lot more comfortably on their journey back up the M23 after this.
Oh.
Will they? It's Mitoma. Richards recovered.
Can't quite get away, can he, Mitoma? Recovers well. Richards.
Camara. Unless they can find 2 goals in what remains of the contest, Brighton, it's going to be a run of just 1 win in 12 games for them. They're up in and around the Champions League places at the start of December there, drifting further down the Premier League rankings as they head off on their travels for the rest of this month.
It's good centre forward play by Strand Larsen. That get a little cramp there. We just see him walled off the Skagly. That's exactly what you want from your strength centre forward. This state of play, keep hold of the ball, buy a free kick.
All that investment looks like it will get its first tranche of payback here on the South Coast. The fixture that they enjoy winning, if not them, certainly the supporters, more than any other. Getting a taste for it. Double last season. Looks like 4 points out of 6 this, without tempting any sort of fate. Well back. Taking care of business at the back there. Kadioglu. Brighton have to throw caution to the wind here. They have to find quality. And that eluded Ferdy Kadioglu there.
Yeah, it's a poor ball in, isn't it, from Kadioglu? Too easy for Dean Henderson. And he goes and does that. He'll build back through the field, try and break down what has been a resilient Palace this afternoon.
Brennan Johnson bringing fresh energy to the front line as he closes down. Kamara. Mitoma. Munoz, who has been booked for delaying the restart a few moments ago, looks very nervously across at Thomas Bramall.
He goes, skulks away, doesn't he, the Crystal Palace right wing back. He knows he's walking that line just a fraction late.
That's a yellow. It should be off.
As that ball goes past him, he's not letting Minte get past. He knows how important it is. He keeps him at bay.
Lucky fellow. He's lucky.
He can consider himself, I think, a little fortunate there. Some thought about coming. Verma thunders it away. Dunker stayed forward to no avail, but rose above everyone. Well, time, Glenn, for you to rule on your player of the match here.
Well, I must say I haven't had an awful lot of option, but that man there, the goal scorer, he was the threat for Crystal Palace in the first half. Eventually, it was the difference. One moment, he was the one that kept his cool, kept his composure, and this afternoon, he's the difference. He's superb in a Crystal Palace shirt ever since he pulled it on.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Ethan Tidy and Brennan Johnson, Strand Larsen, Munoz, Strand Larsen! Oh, so close to a debut goal.
So close for
Strand
debut goal,
Larsen.
man. So close.
McQuarrie just has the head start on Dunk.
It was a big moment at the other end, wasn't it? Really good save by Bart Verbruggen. Keeps his side in this game. Can they muster enough to get an opportunity, create the chance?
2 minutes of added time to go. And that from Kadioglu brings a chorus of boos from the supporters around us. Dissatisfaction with the home fans, and it would have been worse had this one gone into the back of the net.
Well, he nearly puts the icing on the cake, doesn't he? It's a really good run in. Doesn't do an awful lot wrong. Maybe doesn't get quite enough purchase on the ball. Maybe a little bit weak, but it is a good save by the Brighton #1. Larson close to capping what would have been perfect debut. Win against your rivals and a goal.
An expression that mirrors the mood. These are tricky times for Fabian Herzl, no doubt about that. Final minute of the 6. Sort of shepherded out. There's a little bit of over-eagerness from Lewis, which has resulted in a free kick for Palace. And you can bet one thing, Glenn, they'll take their time over this one.
They certainly will. Well, Roma is a standing centre-back for Crystal Palace, and for that man there, I thought he's been pretty perfect today. Won all sorts in the air, read the game really well, also in the opposition box. A lot of first contacts. See there, the fight continues between him and Welbeck. Good performance by the Crystal Palace man.
It's a lot of anti-Herzl chants around that. Around us, I should say. I can tell you that. It's a fan base certainly divided about the progress that's been made under the young German head coach. A result like this against an opponent like this will not do anything to help his cause. This, once again, is Crystal Palace's day against Brighton. They did the double last season, and they've come here to the Amex and ended their long 9-game winless run. Their first win in 13 in all competitions.
Henderson.
And just look what it means.
Henderson is so
Dean
dramatic.
Henderson, the captain, leading the celebrations.
Dino is so dramatic. Look at
As
that.
is often the way, it was a match of few chances, a match of few moments. But the moment when it did came from Ismail Assar. A decisive contribution last year with 2 goals. A decisive contribution this with the winner. Final score, Brighton 0, Crystal Palace 1.
Sarr, the star again, and the Eagles are soaring again. First win in 9 weeks. And goodness me, how sweet that will feel coming at the home of their biggest rivals as well. For the moment, it must feel like pressure off for Crystal Palace. And they move once again, 9 points clear of the bottom 3. Super Bowl 60 coming your way. Coverage starts at 10 o'clock. Sky Sports NFL Seahawks taking on the Patriots in San Francisco. 1 goal we thought might be enough, Roy, and so it proved.
Yeah, obviously a huge win for Palace. They look back to the physical best, I think, today, very aggressive, and obviously poor defending from Brighton. We'll maybe analyse it later, but lovely ball through. Sarr, a little bit of composure at the end. I enjoyed his running off the ball, it was very, very good, but from Brighton's point of view, very, very poor. We always felt maybe 1 goal would be enough.
Kadioglu there, cross through from right back.
Yeah, poor, the communication was poor defending, but listen, big goal, big win for Palace, huge.
Yeah, a little bit of fortune for Sarr, got to the power of the shot, and Barbruggen can't keep it out. And at the other end, prompted this knee slide celebration from Dean Henderson. You've got to back that up when you
man, what's that?
Yeah,
Dino is dramatic, man. Dino is so dramatic.
Something on that
My
cross
God.
that coming at the near post, but it's
Big
decent,
save
makes
as
decent
well.
contact with it. But as I said, it's keeper does well, gets his distances right, his angles right as well.
Big save.
And as I said, he,
We're going to head up to the Liverpool game.
He wasn't finished with his celebrations there. He enjoyed that, and why not? Skipper of the day, kept a clean sheet, and a really important victory for Crystal Palace. It's been such a tough run for them, particularly for their own fans, but yet again away from home they've done it. That's been the story of their season, their last 5 wins now all away from home. Gesso playing his part as well, involved with the assist for Ismail Assar's goal, which has taken the victory for Palace.
They've not won the league, have they? No,
Maybe next week. But it might mean that they are staying safe for another season.
Might be
and that
safe.
would feel absolutely huge. 9 points.
Palace might be safe now. 9 points off the bottom. You know, they might be safe. 32 points. Yeah, we're heading off to the big one. Manchester City, Liverpool versus Manchester City trainers. Oh, the players are coming now for warm-up. Big game, this one. Massive, huge game.